Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Muscle of Yarn podcast. It is Thursday, it's October 10th.
10/10.
10/10/19. So it's our normal podcast time and day of the week. And we are coming to you from our yarn shop in Shelburne, Vermont. And the store is open, so it's business hours, so you may see some folks wandering around in the background or hear some chattering, but we try to, minimize the noise as much as we can, but only so much we can do.
That's right.
So, and you can find the store is out on all social media as Muscle of Yarn. And I forgot, I'm totally off my game today. This is a podcast about knitting and spinning, crochet, yarn, fiber, and whatever else Kelly and I just decided to talk about. So
we talked about a lot of stuff in outtakes already.
See the outtakes for weather and other nonsense. Chickens and dog shenanigans.
That's right. There's dog shenanigans.
We had shoenanigans last week.
This
week we have Ellenanigans. Never a dull moment.
Nope. Those animals.
That's right. And I'm Angela.
And I'm Kelly.
And you can find me out on social media, Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid.
You can find me on Instagram as Kelly O Spins, and you can find me on Ravelry as Kelly Spins.
Yep. And we also have a podcast mascot, though only one of them is here today. Right. This is Gage. Why she's sideways and staring at Kelly, I don't know.
It was pretty hilarious.
Yeah. So this is Gage the Meerkat. Her buddy Swatch is currently at home recovering from the virus that is circulating around my family right now. So you can hear me.
Yeah.
Try to keep the coughing to a minimum. But Gage and Swatch have their own Instagram account, so feel free to follow their Meerkat shenanigans.
Yep, links in the profile and our show notes, so you can find them there if you so choose.
That's right. So they get to go to some fun, interesting places and do fun and interesting things as stuffed animals.
They do.
And I'm glad that I have children, because nobody bats an eye if I'm pulling stuffed animals out of my bag. So, it's totally cool.
You never know these days.
I know, right? My kids actually love them, too. They like to pose with the stuffed animals. So, anyway.
They're well loved.
They are. They are. So we like to start our podcast with our pick of the week.
We do.
And what this is a yarn or other product that for 2 weeks following the airing of the podcast, you can get 10% off online or in store with the code that we're going to give you.
Yep, and I already created the code
and everything. Oh my gosh,
you
are so on top of things.
I try sometimes.
That is awesome. I can't tell you how many times in early days of doing this I was like, realized that the podcast had uploaded, and then I was like, oh no, and I'd go to check to see if the code was in, and it wasn't. I'm trying to do it on my phone, and I was just like, I hope I did that right. And we're getting more efficient here.
Yeah,
we're getting better.
Sometimes when we have if I have a few spare moments where I can sit down and actually put my stuff in the show notes, and then a lot of times I'll just do the other stuff too.
So you already have the code made up as well.
The code made up as well.
You're so on top of it.
I tried today. I succeeded somewhat. So, we have 2 yarns this week for the picks of the week. And they're very closely related, and that's why I chose them. And if you have been wanting to do some color work projects, then these yarns are going to be right up your alley, and I think you'll enjoy them. So the first one that I will talk about is the Juniper Moon Farm Patagonia. And this is 100% organic merino, and they're 100 gram skeins, and they're 382 yards, so great yardage.
It's a sport weight?
They call it a DK, but there are a lot of patterns that you could knit this to a sport gauge. So, depending on what your what you're doing. So they're really, really lovely. These they come in more colors than these 4. We are only at the moment stocking these 4. I think we've got a couple more that are on order, but they haven't come in yet. And the reason that we're doing this in these larger 100-gram skeins is because we have a yarn that's very similar in 50-gram skeins. And that's what I'm going to show you next.
So for color work.
Yeah, so these would be great base colors for sweaters or hats or shawls or ponchos or whatever. And for 50-gram skeins, we have the Trendsetter Yarns New York. So that's this yarn, and it's 100% organic merino as well. Same kind of construction. It's a woolen spun. So if you've worked with like Brooklyn tweed or something like that before, it's gonna kind of remind you of. It's a little bit more rustic feeling, but it's super soft because it is merino. So this is 50 grams, 190 yards. So these are really fun colors that you can use for color work, and I think these are most of the colors that we've got stocked. I think there's a couple that we're out of stock on, but they're really fun, and it would be a great way to do some color work. So the other thing that I did is I created a Ramble research that used DK weight yarn, and I put in color work and hats and sweaters and cowls, because those are typically where a lot of times you'll find some color work. So I have a link to that in show notes, so if you're looking for some inspiration for a color work project, then you can just click on that link, and I'm gonna pull. I'll show you a few that I pulled aside. So this is a free hat pattern that's on there. These are all in that search. So if you click on that link, you'll come across these. This is Rialto Hat by Anna Lang. And then there's Sea Change by Jennifer Steingass. There's a lot of Jennifer Steingass patterns, and a lot of tin can knit patterns, and a lot of, this is Woolly Wormhead pattern. Sorry, it's a little hard to see, it's kind of dark. But there's a lot of really, this one was really pretty. Sea Cross by Becky Baker. They're all color work patterns, and a lot of these that I pulled.
Oh, that one I love.
That's a Jennifer Steingass one. Oops. And then Crazy Heart by Tanis LaValle. But like I said, there's a lot of tin can knit patterns. There's a tin can knits, and this is Dogstar, and that's shown in the kids version. But their patterns, they start like size 6 months, and they go usually to like 4XL or something like that. They've got a really large size range, which is really great. So those are just a few from that search that I pulled out, and but you can, like I said, click the link, and you can then, even then, there's pages and pages and pages of patterns on Ravelry that are kind of fit those parameters. You can even scale it down more, but I just kind of figured I'd do a little quick search if you're looking for some inspiration. So yeah, this is really, really soft yarn. It's really lovely, and it knits up really beautifully. And it's nice that because it's got some variation in it. I don't know if you can, yeah, you kind of can. Yeah. So I think their yarn, very similar to Greenmount Spinnery, it's dyed in the wool, so it's not dyed in the skein. So what they do is before it actually is spun, they dye the colors, and then they blend the colors. So you can see like there's blue, you can actually see the separate strands of blues and yellows to make this kind of bluey green color. So yeah, it gives a lot of depth to the yarn, which I think is really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what's the price point on those?
So the larger skeins of Patagonia are $14.99, and the smaller skeins, the 50-gram skeins, are $7.99.
Awesome.
So a really good price point with those. And all the links are in show notes for those and for the Ravel research. And the code for this week is Weekly Pick Color Work.
Ooh. Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
So there you have it.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So we are both wearing finished objects this week.
We are. I know. We're so fancy.
We are
You know what I
fancy.
realized when I was doing the project page for this?
What?
Well, I had done it, but when I was like marking it as finished,
Mm-hmm.
that I started it almost a year ago, and then it just sat, and
Yeah.
that was sad.
Yeah.
I started it right around Rhinebeck,
But you finished it.
but I finished it,
now
so you
can
know.
yeah.
It just makes me shake my head when I realize I was this close.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. It's done, and I love it. It fits really, really great. It fits almost like a comfy, cozy sweatshirt. Like it's got
Nice.
enough positive ease that it's comfortable and,
Yeah.
but not so much that it's super, super loose and baggy.
Yeah.
I really am happy with the fit. And I did, my gauge was a little bit different, so I did make some notes, but you can find all that information in mine. So this is Little Twigs. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is Little Twigs by Melody Hoffman, and it is knit in Wing and a Prayer Farm All the Single Ladies, which is her Shetland wool. It's kind of like a single ply, and Green Mountain Spinnery processes her yarn, All the Single Ladies, and she is going to have more before too long. She's got a little bit in stock, so if you're going to Rhinebeck and you see her, she does have some in a darker color than this, but she's got more at the mill now, so she'll probably have more that she'll be putting up online before too long if you're interested.
Nice.
And there's a lot of other yarn options out there, obviously, too.
Oh, yeah.
So that would work for this, but it's really a fun pattern. There's some fun little details in it that make it kind of interesting, but it's just a lot of stock in it, and then it's bottom up.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I do a bottom up sweater, I usually always do the sleeves first because then I get them out of the way. And so I had the sleeves all done, and I had this much of the body done, so I had to finish knitting up the body, and then you do this really fun slip stitch pattern here in the yoke, so it goes really, really quickly. But you just have to be a little bit careful because you're slipping a lot of stitches with the yarn in the front to create this texture, that you have to be careful, kind of like with stranded color work, that you're not pulling that yarn too tight, because then it could really distort the fabric. But of course, if you're using 100% wool or some, depending on the blends, wool blends, they will block out some. But yeah, it was a really fun knit, and I'm really happy with the finished sweater. So
Awesome.
yeah, I wore it all weekend long at Vermont Sheep and Wool. So
Nice.
yeah, it get nice and cozy.
And so I also finished my sweater. So this is Love Notes by Tin Can Knits. I actually have not blocked it yet. I'm just so you can see some of the little, like, maybe you can't. If you're up close, you can see some of, in the lace work, there's some little bumps around just because the lace pattern hasn't been pulled or stretched the way it should. But I may not block it. It's wearing very nice. This is for me, a very oversized sweater. It's not fitted at all, and I knitted it a little bit large on purpose. I was kind of in between two sizes, and so I went up instead of going down. So it's super just oversized and cozy and warm, but not super hot, right? So it's a fingering weight yarn and a mohair held double on very large needles. So it's a very open fabric. So it's not super hot. But the mohair does make it a little more warm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a nice cozy sweater. And so I'm, fingers crossed it's a little bit coolish for Rhinebeck. It's
looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I saw the extended forecast, and it looks kind of like it was for Vermont Sheep and Wool.
awesome.
Looked up here anyway like it was going to be in the 50s and sunny, which down there it might be like high 50s, low 60s, because it usually is a little bit warmer down
Be
there.
a little chilly in the morning.
Yeah.
So you can, shawls or whatever, and then as the day warms up, you can start taking stuff off. Just in layers.
It's the layering time of year.
Yep. So this one's done.
It's lovely.
Thank you. Super fun colors. The finished project colors don't look anything like the individual yarn colors at all.
Yeah,
So,
it's amazing how much it changed.
totally amazing. And I did not alternate skeins. So if you see me from a distance and I look like I have like stripes on it and I can't tell looking up close, it's because I didn't alternate skeins. But I don't really think you can tell.
No, all I can see is variation from the yarn itself, which are just little small bits.
Yeah.
So
The sleeves got a little stripey, but I wouldn't have alternated skeins on the sleeves anyway. So
you really don't. I mean,
it just it has a
it
very
looks more like color variation, not like
pulling or
stripey pooling or anything. Yeah. I like it.
So fun with color in a different way, right? So you can definitely tone down a dark or brighten up a dark yarn with a brighter colored mohair, which is what I did here. So have fun, play. I have plenty of yarn left over. I may make some mittens.
Oh, cool.
Because fuzzy mittens would be fun.
They would be, or you could do like a separate liner. Too. That's nice using mohair and angora and stuff like that.
Yep. So.
Or you could just make them all fuzzy and then you just.
I was just thinking of like holding them double and knitting them to
a
like
tighter gauge. Yeah.
Maybe a fingering weight gauge, so they're, but.
Super warm. They would be so warm.
Super warm. And soft and fuzzy.
But light at the same time, so you wouldn't feel like you had these big bulky mittens on.
Exactly. So that's our like what we're wearing and our finished objects.
I know.
We're wearing our things.
We're wearing our things.
Wearing our things. That's what we do. We make the things and then we wear them.
I know. I got to cast on a new sweater. My fingers are itching without a sweater on the knee. I don't know what it has been. Like this year, last year, like it's been sweater knitting.
Yeah. I did cast on another sweater. And anyone who follows me on Instagram saw the color issue that I was having with my color choices. And, so I kind of approach color work like I approach swatching, which is I just go with it. I put stuff together that I like and I just knit it. No swatching, no taking black and white photos to see the contrast. And it would probably save myself a lot of time and aggravation if I did those things. But then I wouldn't have fun things to share with all of you on Instagram. So, there's that. So I picked a color for color work that was maybe a little bit too close to the main color. And so it was knit together. It was not giving a very good contrast. I did have to I was going to have to rip some out anyway because I made a mistake while doing color work in the evening while also drinking a glass of wine. So sometimes those things don't mesh. I think actually part of the problem for the color work mistake was because the two colors were so close together that I just missed that I knit with the wrong strand. Whereas I would not have made that mistake with the new colors.
Well, I don't know about you, but in the evening, because it's starting to get darker faster too, I don't have great light in my living room.
No.
Which is a lot of times where I'm knitting in the evenings. And so it makes it challenging. Seeing that, especially if the colors are kind of close anyway. So.
Exactly, and that's totally what happened. So I was gonna have to rip some out anyway. So I figured, well, I'll just put it out there to social media land and see if everybody else was seeing what I saw, which is that it was probably too subtle, not enough contrast.
Yeah.
And I'd say the overwhelming majority of people were like, yeah, it's not. There's not enough contrast there.
Yeah.
So I did rip it all of the color work out, and started again with the color work. And I just started putting a sleeve on.
Nice.
So
well, that's good. That's huge progress.
I know.
Look at how far you've come.
So this is the throwback. by Andrea Mowry.
I benefited from her first.
Yeah, so last year I knit one of these about this time.
Darn that swatch!
I know, and I actually knit a swatch, and my swatch told me I needed to go down 2 needle sizes, which is very weird for me because I'm generally a very tight knitter. So for me to have to go down needle sizes seemed weird, but I was just following what the swatch said.
She was trying to be so good.
I was trying to be so good, and this is what I get. So I knit the sweater. I did wear it at Rhinebeck, but it became apparent that it was perhaps just a little bit on the small side for my taste, and that I would not wear it regularly because I just didn't find it that comfortable.
Yeah.
So Kelly had expressed a love for the purples that was in my sweater, and so I gifted it to her so it could get worn.
And I wore it so much last year, and I actually almost wore it today, but then I was like, well, I have to wear my new one. So yeah, it's getting a lot of love.
Yeah. And that's what I want. So last year at Rhinebeck I bought some more yarn. Actually, no, I didn't get this stuff at Rhinebeck. I got this at the retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was about that time I think I declared that this sweater was not working.
Yeah, because then remember, I got another sweater at the retreat.
That's right. Somebody else gave you a sweater as well. Kelly has been on the receiving end of some sweaters, which
People
is
are
awesome.
like, but they could have given it to me.
I know, right?
Like, I'm really sorry.
So I wanted to buy some more yarn to knit another throwback, and I picked up some yarn at the vendor at the marketplace at the retreat this last spring from Cece's Wool. So this chocolate is her coffee colorway. The cream colored is her yarn as well. It's just cream. I think it might just be the undyed. Mm-hmm. And then the middle colorway is barnyard, and actually with some leftover yarn from yarn I did buy at Rhinebeck from her, and I knit a worsted boxy out of it.
That's right, yep.
And then the final color here is a Malabrigo. It's their teal feather. So this is my new throwback that I'm working on. I did not knit a gauge swatch. I just went with the needles that the pattern calls for. So the color work is all done, and I am currently dividing for the sleeves. I should probably be careful pulling on that, or I'm gonna drop some stitches there.
Don't do that.
So yeah, so it's coming right along, and probably not going to be ready for Rhinebeck, but it would be relatively close. We'll see.
Depends on how much knitting time you get between now and then.
That yes, that is always the issue.
Yeah.
So I've been relatively focused on this pattern, and I only have like one other little project that I kind of picked up a little bit in the car this past weekend because I needed to rip this one back, and I don't like to rip knitting back in the car because it's just asking for trouble for many reasons. I didn't want to have to start completely over, so I only ripped it back to just pass the color work.
Yeah.
So at least it saved me a little bit of knitting time that way.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all good. So we'll see.
Excellent. It's going to be beautiful. The
Thank
colors
you.
are
I
fantastic.
am really loving the colors a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're kind of unexpected. Like, you wouldn't normally put those. I mean, maybe the teal and the brown together, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say the teal and the brown. Yeah, because I remember there was like probably 10 or 12 years ago, like everybody was going through like the teal and brown phase. Like you go into a store and all of the homeware stuff was teal and brown, and bedding and dishes, and I remember it was really fun.
Well, I'm bringing it back.
Excellent.
I'm bringing the teal and brown back. No, I don't have a brown sweater, so I'm actually I do have a brown sweater. Where is that sweater? I should find that. I don't know. Take a little cardigan kind of color work. Yeah, I should find that brown sweater. Now I'll have two brown sweaters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I I know. I'm trying to do... So, I've got a lot of, like... Well, no, I guess... Well, I've got orange sweaters lately. I've finished. I've got some gray ones. The Dye Gilpin one, that is more of a... It leans very brown.
Mm-hmm.
The base color. Where this one is actually a really warm gray. So it can kind of lean either way. Just trying to think of all the sweaters that I have, but there was one day last week when was it last week or was it this week on Monday when it was gray and rainy? I don't remember. There was one day when it was actually, the temperature didn't get out of the 50s, I think, and it was struggling to be at 50, and I wore my big heavy bulky
nice
Sing Winter that I finished a couple weeks ago, and it was very cozy and I was not cold.
Nice. Awesome.
I know.
So yes, I'm looking forward to sweater weather.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
the mornings are definitely
it's been a little chilly.
Sweater weather, but the afternoons have been warming up. Although today there's quite a bit of wind, so it may not be as warm as.
So what are you working on over there?
So I'm just finishing up this
last
couple of stitches, and then I can show you. So I saw this come out quite some time. Well, it wasn't like towards the end of summer, maybe a year or so, early fall, I think. And I had it kind of in my mental queue, and I hadn't added it to my regular queue, and I wanted to, and I thought it was perfect timing because I was in between projects, and I like doing hats or cowls or something kind of quick in between sweaters, especially because I didn't have any yarn wound and I hadn't swatched anything for my next sweater, so I wanted something that I could just kind of pick up, throw on the needles, and run with.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Hat Dana, which is Denise Bayron pattern, and she's kind of new on the designing scene, but she's not a stranger to the fashion industry, so it's really interesting. She was a fashion executive in New York City for years.
Okay.
And then has recently moved to California, and that's kind of when she's picked up her knitwear designing. I don't know if you want to call it a career, maybe. I don't know if it's going to be a full-blown career, but she's working on her knitwear portfolio, and she's adding pieces. I think on Ramble, she's maybe got half a dozen or so different pieces, and she's got a really cool aesthetic because it's very kind of modern and clean lines, but very utilitarian at the same time. So I really like her aesthetic that she's going with, and of course, people's designs change, and if she's doing a collection or something, that can kind of influence it too. So anyway, this pattern, the Hat Dana, let me see if I can pull it up really quick, is cool because you can wear it a lot of different ways, and I should be able to pull it up fairly quickly. You can wear it like kind of like a bandana cowl. You can wear it more like you would wear a bandana on your head. You can use it for kind of like a hat. Her whole thing was that she's got a lot of hair, so if she wears it that more like a hat, it keeps her ears warm, but it doesn't. She doesn't have to allow for all of her hair when she's wearing it, which I totally understand. A lot of times I'll wear just kind of like the ear bands because if I've got my hair up, it's really hard to. All right, so that's the Hat Dana being worn in various ways. So I thought it was really cool. And she's actually going to be at Rhinebeck this year, and she's doing a meetup at the same time as the podcaster meetup, so we'll probably run into her there. And so yeah, so she's got some really fun. What's the other one that I really like of hers?
Is that a worsted weight?
It's an Aran weight that she calls for. So
Okay.
I am actually using Green Mountain Spinnery weekend wool.
Okay.
And it's knit at a really dense gauge. So these are size 5 needles. And then for the ribbing that goes around kind of where the crown, where you where it needs to be stretchy, where it's joined in the round and it's ribbing, you drop down to a 4.
Okay.
And I have it gauged exactly with 5s with the weekend wool. And so it's a really, really dense knit, because it's like a heavy worsted to almost Aran yarn. And this is the teal color in the Green Mountain Spinnery weekend wool. And it's pretty. It's got just a little simple cable repeat, and it's got yarn overs for the increases there, and then it's got just a nice 1x1 rib on the edge to kind of make it lay flat and look really nice. And because you're knitting this at such a dense gauge, it almost doesn't even look like ribbing on the edge, and it lays flat. And then the finished one, you put little tassels at the bottom too, which I haven't gotten to that point yet. I don't know if I'm going to have, I think it was a good thing I had stopped mid-conversation, so you know. I think I can't remember exactly how much it called for, but I think it was like not quite 200 yards, and these are 140, I want to say, so I might need to, because this is what I've done in one. It'll be really, really close. I think most people use like 170 or something, so I probably will have to get another skein to finish it, but that's okay if I do. And so it's getting close. It's almost not quite to the point of where I can join it in the round and start the ribbing, but it's getting there. But the other design that she has that I was thinking about doing, which is really cute, is called the Droplet Capelet. And I really like how, because I think she was because of her background being in the fashion industry, she really shows a lot of different ways that you can wear the pieces, which is nice. So, sorry for the glare again, but it's kind of a neat capelet. It's, knit more, and I think it's probably done in the round, probably. I haven't looked at it that closely. It's a fingering weight, but it's really nice.
That's cool.
Seamless top down in the round, yep. So that was another fun piece that I thought was really, really pretty, and was thinking about adding to my queue at some point.
Nice.
So yeah, so check her out. She's kind of a new and upcoming designer. She's gonna have a pattern in the next Making magazine. It's a really cute t-shirt that's got kind of mesh sleeves, and she actually on her Instagram page did kind of a revised version that was a long sleeve and was more cropped.
Yeah.
So it's cute, and there's a little write-up about her, and that's where I learned more of my information about her. So because we get Making comes out next Friday, I believe, the 18th, somewhere in there. So yeah, we get a kind of a sneak peek of the magazine. But it's one of my favorites, Making is, and so they did a really good job kind of introducing her, which is really cool. So check out her patterns if you're looking for something new.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Super fun.
The only other thing I'll show you that I worked on while I was helping Tammy at her booth, the Wing and a Prayer Farm booth. I got this at Rhinebeck last year, this cute little bag that she naturally dyed, and a sock blanket that she naturally dyed. So you saw this after Rhinebeck of last year. That's just a naturally dyed sock blanket. So I just cast on some vanilla socks, and they should be in here somewhere because I think they should be attached. And I only got a wee little cuff started. And I'm using, so Hiya has the flyers, which are similar to the Addy Flexi Flips. So you have your stitches on 2 needles, and you use the 3rd for knitting, and so they have the cable in between. Oh my goodness, these are so sharp.
Oh yeah.
So the Flexi Flips have a more dull rounded end on one side, and then they have a pointier end on the other. These are zeros, so that makes a difference. And the Flexi Flips that I have, the Addy Flexi Flips I have, are 1s, and I wanted to knit these at a tighter Gage, so I went to a 0, and I wanted to try the Hiya Flyers. These are little dangerous weapons. I kept poking my finger with these. So if you like really, really sharp needles, go with the Flyers. You won't be disappointed.
Also dangerous this time of year, as the air starts to dry out. And your skin starts to crack
my
or get
fingers
drier.
are pretty dry. Yeah. So I haven't gotten very far on my vanilla stock. Just a little bit of the ribbing done. But
Nice.
that's another quick little thing that I did start.
So I picked up and was knitting a little bit on my little red pullover sweater.
Yeah. Little red purple.
Little red purple. Little purple pullover. I think those are sleeves. So this is a child's sweater. It is a Knitting Expat Mina Phillips pattern. And it's the child's version of this, so it's just a striped sweater with a really cool cable detail that runs down the raglan increases and then actually continues down the side of the sweater. So I'm knitting this for my little. And I had started it a while ago. This was, again, yarn. It's a Fiber Stash yarn. I had picked it up at the Retreat marketplace. And I think I'd cast it on right away and then have totally got distracted with other stuff. So I picked it back up. You know, nice thing about kids' sweaters is they tend to go much faster than grown-up sweaters.
Yep.
So I just, figured instead of casting something new on, why don't I just pick up something that probably I should finish before my child outgrows it.
Yep.
Because then I'll be like, now what do I do with this sweater? I would probably gift it to one of my nieces, who happens to be younger than my child. So
You could wait and do what a customer did. We had a customer come in who was making a sweater for her son 30 years ago, and she never got it finished.
And
so then her son had a little girl.
So now it's for the grandchild.
And so now it's for the grandchild.
That's
so,
awesome.
I thought that was pretty cool that she, she's like, now she has this new motivation to finish it up, and she wanted to, and I thought it was so awesome.
That is cool.
Yep.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
So there's always that.
There's always
that.
There's always that.
Always that. Actually, I would like to finish it so my own child could wear it this winter. Though
it's super cute, and it would be so cute on her too.
It would be cute on her, though. She keeps deeming the stuff that I knit her too itchy, so I don't know what that's all about.
Oh, but that's really soft.
It's not. That I don't think would get the it's too itchy.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's really cool colors for her too. Like
there's purple and sparkles and
yeah.
pink and like all her favorite colors.
Yeah.
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 So, we'll see.
Cool.
Yeah. The only other thing I worked on, I don't even have a project page for it because it's so just haven't done really anything with it. But I did post about winding yarn at soccer, winding a mini skein. So people are really used to seeing me knit. Apparently having a skein of yarn draped over my leg, hand winding it is new and interesting.
Everybody had to ask you about
that caught some people's attention.
So funny.
So this, I am working on one of the sock tubes that Kelly made for me, and figured I should hand wind, get some heel toes and cuffs on these things so I can wear them.
Nice.
So this is Legacy Fiber Arts in their Kirk colorway.
I was going to say it looks like Kirk.
Yeah, I don't know if they named the green to go with it, but it was a sock kit, so it came with a contrast color for heels, toes, and cuffs. So I just have started on cuff number 1.
Super fun.
So clearly I'm really far along. but not a huge amount of effort to make socks out of these tubes, because you really have the cuffs, and then you put the heel in, and then I'll put the toe in, and probably could get 2 pairs of socks.
Yeah, a lot of people, depending on the size of your feet and how long you like your leg, a lot of people have been getting 2+. Some people have gotten 2 pair and then a pair of shorties.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
that's value.
I know, right?
Right there.
Yeah, because you're using up the whole thing.
Using up everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been up to. Mostly this.
So non-knitting, but still fiber arts related.
Yeah.
I helped out Tammy from Wing and a Prayer Farm at her booth for Vermont Sheep and Wool.
Yep.
So the festival was great as usual.
Yeah.
It was
I'm bummed I did not get to go.
Ange didn't make it down. But it was really lovely. Saturday we had great weather. It was in the 50s, but so sunny. It was so nice. Everybody was out and shopping and just having a great time. And I stopped and chatted with a lot of our vendors that we have the local yarns, and everybody had a really good day on Saturday.
That's awesome.
Which is so good because you want to hear that they're doing well.
Yeah.
Sunday, it didn't rain. It started sprinkling as we were packing up, but it was really cloudy.
Yeah.
And had kind of a bite in the air.
It looked like it was going to rain all day.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because when I got home, it was at least a 10-degree difference between here and at the festival.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty chilly. They ran out of all the hot beverages at the festival.
Yeah.
But it was still a good day, and there were still people coming out, which was nice. And I only bought one thing at the festival, and I got these really cute stitch markers. So they're from Wee Ones, and there's a black cat.
We love her. She's done, she did some stitch markers for one of our Seasons of Vermont boxes, and she did little meerkats for the retreat.
For the retreat, yeah. And I talked to her. I told her who I was because I hadn't met her face to face before, and I was like, oh, just so you know, I told her who I was, and I was like, well, we'll probably have some more projects for you next year. And she's like, oh, great. She's like, I look forward to it. She said she had a lot of fun doing the meerkat. So
that was awesome. They were amazing.
Yeah, they really were. She's like, usually as long as they're like an animal or food or something, she's like, I can do those.
I can't find mine. I don't know what happened to mine. I lost it.
We'll keep looking for it. So there's an owl, a pumpkin, a black cat, and then I love the bat because she put the bat hanging upside down, which is just awesome. So there's a little bat at the end. They're so cute. So she had so many. I could have just...
Is she going to be at Rhinebeck?
That's a good question. I didn't ask her.
I could look the vendor list.
Yeah,
and see.
she's been at Rhinebeck in years past. So, but she is on Etsy. It's weones.etsy.com.
Yeah, her stuff is so cool.
Yeah.
I have some...
yeah, she does a lot of the sheep too, which are really cute.
I bought some rainbow unicorns from her last year, or rainbow horses.
Those are so cute.
Rainbow. Super fun.
So it was fun. That's the only thing I ended up buying. I ended up being pretty busy. I was doing so much networking and just stopping in and chatting with people, and then when I was helping Tammy out too.
Did you get to see Michael Hampton's new marled yarn?
Oh my God, it was. I almost bought some. It was really beautiful. Yeah, it was really beautiful.
That was some of the stuff that I was bummed I didn't get to see because I wanted to.
It was lovely. So he had bigger skeins that were that didn't change color. They're not like the Edition 3-year spin cycle. But then he had the 50-gram skeins or 2-ounce skeins that did, where they kind of they transition from kind of one base looking color to the next. Yeah. And those were super fun. I was almost bought some to do another shift or something like that, but I didn't make it back in time on Sunday. I got chatting with one of our other vendors. I talked to him for quite a while on Saturday, but it was so busy I didn't want to hold him up too long. And so I was going to go back over on Sunday, but then I got chatting with one of our vendors, and everybody started picking up because they're like, oh, it's 4 o'clock. And of course they've been there all weekend, so they want to get out of there, so which is totally fine. I understand that.
Everybody wanted to get home.
Yeah. And then
maybe we could get him to come over and do a trunk show or something.
That would be fun. Yeah. I bet he would do that.
Yeah.
That would be fun. But
don't mind us, just planning on the podcast like normal.
I know, right? So Tammy did give me one of her T-shirts for the valet's black nose. It's so cute. So she brought the boys, the two. She has 2 ram lambs and 2 ewe lambs from her F1 breeding that she did. So she brought the ram lambs to the festival and 2 Shetland rams as well.
I was gonna say they looked like they were super friendly with people. There was lots of pictures of folks.
Yeah,
with pictures.
They
with
were
them.
so good. They were being great little ambassadors, and so yeah,
nice.
I know. So I have a super cute shirt to wear, and I'm gonna be helping Tammy out at Rhinebeck on Sunday. So if you're going to Rhinebeck and you're gonna be there on Sunday, stop by and say hello.
Say hey.
So
awesome.
Yep. So yeah, a great festival. Vermont Sheep and Wool is. So if you ever are, if you're not from the area and you get a chance to go, I highly recommend it. Oh my gosh, the food line at lunchtime, it felt like a mini Rhinebeck.
Oh really?
I had to wait like half an hour to get lunch. Yeah.
Wow. What'd you have?
I ended up having stew with some really good like farm bread.
Yeah.
And that was good, but yeah, they had some really. I think they even had one more food vendor there than they usually do, but the lines for all of them were just really long.
Well, and that's the thing. Like we've learned at Rhinebeck to.
You have to either eat at like 11, 10:30, 11, or you have to eat at 3 and hope there's some left.
We eat at like 11, and then we eat like again.
Yeah.
Or 10:30, or
yeah. A lot of times, if you start getting in line around 11, so we're giving away all the secrets.
Yeah.
So. then by the time you like sit down and eat your food, it's gonna be like, 11:30 or closer to lunch. And I feel a lot of times, since I get up so early and I eat breakfast early.
Yeah.
I usually can eat lunch early too. So
well, and you're up and you're walking around and you're doing stuff, so it's
yeah, and usually about that time, you've been at the festival for a couple hours, so it's about time to take a little break, and then usually have another break in the afternoon. We usually do like a hot chocolate or tea or coffee break or something around like 3.
Yeah, and falafel in the morning.
Falafel.
Can't wait.
So good. I know. A lot of times we will stop. Well, a lot of times somebody will bring like treats. So on the car ride down, where either they're having like cider donuts or Jen made scones one year, or we're kind of munching on stuff on the way down. Well, and we go down Friday too, but a lot of times we have leftovers, so we always throw snacks in our bags too.
Oh, yeah. Always some sort of food, something or other.
Yeah.
If not, we just hit Building E with all of the food and go have some samples. So
samples and then support them and like snack on the stuff as you go, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was funny. I can't remember who I was talking to. Somebody was like, "What is this Building E you speak of? I've been there and I've never been to it before."
That's where all the food and booze is.
I know. It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me. It's where the wine tasting happens. The booze.
The booze.
No, it's like the food. It's a building where they've put the vendors who are selling food and wine and alcohol and things.
And some things that aren't necessarily
there's some jewelry,
yarn
in
or
there.
knitting related.
Yeah,
because there's cutting boards and there's candy and fudge and
I bought
candles.
From it's washable suede, and they did pot holders and cast iron pan. Handle covers.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah. And
I didn't see theirs.
I bought some of those. They're amazing.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's where you find that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman who makes wooden spoons.
The wooden spoons, yeah, those are amazing. Yeah.
And cutting boards and stuff. But
there's
that's Building E. It's also where like the sheep to shawl happens.
Yep.
And they have some other.
It's where you vote on the design.
Yep.
So I didn't realize it was for 2 years out. Because last year we were like, what is this design? I don't remember voting on this one.
Where'd that one come from?
And then when the design for this year came out, I finally realized. I'm like, it's 2 years.
Yeah.
Because the one that won this year is one that I remember we all kind of liked and were voting on. I think the person that did this one had done a few different ones because I loved all of hers. They were really super cute.
Very whimsical.
Yeah. Yep, they're really cute. So,
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
so yeah, building E, it's kind of right next to building A, B, and C, as you're sort of headed down, kind of down the hill back to the other barns. So.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, at Vermont Sheep and Wool, Becky and Melissa from Nomadic Knits were there, and they did they did meet and greet and signed some of the magazines. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, your copy of the Vermont issue 5 from Nomadic Knits, we have a bunch in the store, so you can get them either in store or online. And the patterns within that you can knit towards our Vermont Along, which Ange and I were talking, and we decided we're going to extend the Vermont Along through the end of the year. I think we had it ending early December, but we're going to just push it out to the end of the year because
super exciting.
We're doing a trunk show with Green Mountain Spinnery. So that's going to be in early November, and November 9th we're going to get back to you with a time, but put a save the date on the calendar for November 9th, because we're gonna have Green Mountain Spinnery come on up. And we just restocked on a bunch of Green Mountain Spinnery.
Nice.
So if you want some of that lovely yarn.
And so we're doing the Vermont Along. Green Mountain Spinnery is doing a Felix Along.
They are doing the Felix Along.
For the Felix cardigan, and there's also a pullover.
Larissa was wearing the pullover this weekend. Super cute.
So either you feel free to double dip in ours. We don't. Most people that run knit-alongs don't care.
And whips, we allow whips.
We're so loosey-goosey over here.
So if you had already started one for the Felix Along.
You can totally.
I don't know when there's runs through, do you?
I had not looked up the details yet, but just wanted to let people know that they were also running for the Felix. So if you were going to knit the Felix, you could enter it in either spot.
As long as they're still going, go for it. There's the new pattern in the Nomadic Knits that uses the Green Mountain Spinnery that Kate Solomon.
The mitts?
It's a sweater. It has kind of lace in the yoke. Kate was wearing it over Vermont Sheep and Wool weekend.
The stowaway.
I want to knit that.
I like that. I actually really like most of. I like the mitts, and I like the colorwork hat. And that sweater. Which is great. So that was knit in mountain mohair. So I was looking at some colors. We got some new colors in mountain mohair. Okay, I'm gonna have to go look because I want to. Felix is on my list.
Really pretty. I know Felix is. I couldn't decide. I was like, well, I really like Felix, but I really like this lace one. And then we got some of the At the Spinnery books in stock too, which I have 2. So I have for the saffron vest. I have yarn already for that because I got that. I picked up the book at our retreat, and then I also have the other one, the brioche one that I really, really liked, and I have yarn for that. So I'm trying to decide between those two. One of those might be my next cast on.
Nice. So we were supposed to give away prizes today for the Shift Along cowl. Actually, we were supposed to do it last week. But
we didn't record last week.
I was not able to get my act together, so I locked the thread today. So the thread's locked, and we will draw prizes next week because I want to put together something kind of cool from my stash. I should have picked up some of that Michael Hampton yarn for that would have been super sweet. Not to say that we still couldn't make arrangements to have that happen, but anyway, stay tuned. Prizes next week. FO threads locked. Prizes next week. So we still have the Warmth with Yarn cowl, which is going, and we have the details in the show notes about that. That's our sort of charity.
We've gotten so many entries. There's
already
a big box already filled.
And a couple of our folks who participate from other places have posted pictures of what they have done and donated.
Locally to them. Nice. That's awesome.
And
you guys are
it's amazing. I love it.
I know, I do too.
It's awesome. And then we have our Vermont along, which is we were talking about a little earlier that we've now extended through the end of the year. So
this counts.
And I think I'm gonna run that holiday cowl again, like we did last year.
Oh, fun! Yeah, that was really fun.
So I have to go back and find all the
We got some
details.
good recipes.
Yeah, yeah, that one was really fun. I'll probably kick it off around Thanksgiving time, like I did last year, and run it through Christmas. And it was just it could be things other than knitting. It was like basically share your story about what makes the holidays for you, or what your holiday tradition is. And it was really cool. It was a lot of fun.
It was really fun. Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna run that one again.
That's cool. I succumbed to the Katrinkles Advent Calendar.
Oh yeah.
I was chatting with Katie a little bit at Vermont Sheep and Wool, and she's like, yeah, there's some really cool tools and stuff in there. She's like, but I won't give it away. She's like, although I'm not really good at keeping that kind of thing secret. And I'm like, I don't care. I like secrets and all, but I'm like, if you happen to slip a little bit while you're chatting with me, I won't be upset.
Nice.
She didn't tell me what was in it though.
Cool.
But yeah,
we can do Advent calendar together because I have the Legacy fiber.
Oh, so
yarn
you'll have the
Advent
yarn
calendar.
and I'll have the little.
Yeah,
that is fun.
Yeah, so we can Instagram that or something.
Right,
it'll be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to clear off my docket so I can use that yarn as I open it for December.
Yeah.
To knit something for myself.
Yep.
There's a couple cool shawl patterns for those kinds of Advent calendars. So
didn't Cindy, Wow Skunk Cindy, didn't she do a sweater?
yeah, she did like the it was a fade. She kind of did the fade technique.
Yeah.
I want to say it was either that tin can knits pattern. It might have been a tin can knit, the flax white maybe. But she did
it was really fun.
It was really awesome.
Yeah.
She every day just added.
When she got she opened up the new one, that color went in.
Yeah. So she had to have like 3, I think, needles going when she hit the sleeves, because she would do the sleeve, couple rows on the sleeve and a couple rows on the body and a couple rows on the other sleeve. So
yeah, it's fun.
Super cool. So yeah, there's lots of, you can be creative with it.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. 25 mini skeins. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I've been so good. I just took the whole box in the closet.
Or you're gonna have a lot of cranked out sock tube.
I know, right?
You'll need your mini skeins for heels, toes, and cuffs.
Oh yeah, because I don't have a shortage of mini skeins in my house.
I know.
I know. I just gave Kelly like 5 more skeins of yarn to crank tubes for me at some point. I'm trying to clean up my sock yarn so I can justify buying more sock yarn when we go to Handbag. I gotta stop buying sock yarn. I don't know.
I have to crank myself some either finished socks and or tubes, because I have a lot of smart wools that I wear, and I'm just blowing through them, and I'm like, you can make socks yourself.
Yeah, totally.
So I just have to do it. But you know how it goes.
I do. All that sock needs is heels, toes, and cuffs. And it'll take me like 4 months to do it.
I know.
So, yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So I think that's all we got for this week. Unless something goes totally haywire, we should be back next week with a little with an episode before we head to Handbag.
That's right.
So, and I'm not even going to bother promising that we're going to do something at Handbag, because it's not going to happen.
People really like
happens.
the one we did with John.
That was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, the questions.
Yeah, we went through all the questions.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Logistically, might be a little more difficult for us to pull that off this year. We still got to schedule like a YouTube live. We're talking about doing that, and we just haven't got our act together. So we'll plan that when we're closer to the holidays, and people might have more downtime and stuff.
Yep.
So the New Year's Eve one was super fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, we would do that again. Because I clearly do not have plans for New Year's Eve.
Considering we come into the store on New Year's Day and count all the things.
Inventory. Yeah, super fun. Super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Though, with all 5 of us, it went pretty much faster this last year.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and now with all the food delivery services around, nobody's going to have to go get food. We'll just pick one that will deliver to us.
Yeah.
With, like, Uber Eats or, one of those.
Yeah.
They'll just bring it to us. So, that'll help.
Yeah.
You guys don't need to know all of this. We're sharing.
We've gotten to the rambling section.
Yes.
Of this podcast episode.
Yes, right before we head into the show notes, or the outtakes, which is more rambling.
More rambling.
Yeah. The pre-ramble.
Mm-hmm.
This is the post-ramble.
Kind of like the preamble, but the pre-ramble. That's funny.
Yes, pre-yarn ramble.
Mm-hmm.
Might have to be the title.
Pre-yarn festival ramble?
Yeah, pre-something. Anyway,
I think that's all we've got anyway.
All right.
So we will see y'all next week.
Yes, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us for a while. Mm-hmm. Listening to us, and I still have a little bit of a voice.
It's going away slowly though.
It's going.
Yeah.
It's time to give it a break.
Okay.
So, see you next week.
Bye. I saw your post with your not so
the subtle,
contrasting colors.
The subtle and not subtle.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's too bad. I mean, I love it though.
I love these so much more though.
Do you? Yeah, I love it though. Because what was the other one? The other one was like the farmyard something.
It was this one was a dark purple.
Okay.
So, and it blended in
with the brown.
With the brown.
Yeah.
There were pops of, like, you could see the purple that was more kind of like this color, but it didn't
because there was some variation in it.
Right. It was a Malabrigo.
Oh,
it was
okay.
Papaya, Purpurus.
Yep. That looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the other 2 colors are the same.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting how different they look.
I thought this one looked so different in there. The multicolor one.
So the purple looked totally different.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so these bottom 2
I
are
was
the
thinking
same.
that was the one that you swapped out. That's so funny.
Nope, I swapped out the top one. The purple one for the cream colored one.
I like it.
I do too.
It's really pretty.
It's all stashy poo yarn.
Excellent.
Yes. So that was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And in another exciting edition of Don't Do Color Work and Drink, I was going to have to rip out an entire row anyway, because I got to the end of one of the color work rows, and I was like, yeah, that's not ending on the right stitch. So I wonder where I made that mistake. And I tracked it back, and it was literally all the way at the other end.
Oh.
So I was like,
Darn it.
So, and then the more I started looking at it, I was like, I mean, the purple was okay.
Uh-huh.
It just, I don't know. If you're going to invest the time in color work, you kind of want it to show a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also wasn't sure I was going to have enough of the purple.
Oh.
So there was that. Not to say that I couldn't have picked up another skein here, but in the interest of not trying to buy more yarn before I go to Rhinebeck, so the lady who just ordered 3 skeins of yarn from online. I don't know. It just happened. They fall in my cart on Etsy. I blame Instagram. I always blame Instagram. Actually, I blame, for one of my purchases this week, that llama pin, because that's what I saw, and I was like, oh, that's cute.
That's so funny.
And I went out and was looking at some of her other stuff, and I was like, I'm going to try one of those bags, because clearly I need more knitting bags. I don't have enough. Clearly.
That's funny.
So, and I didn't put any of this stuff in like acquisition, so I'll show it now here at the
So you're not on yet?
Yeah, oh we are. You're in outtakes.
We're in outtakes.
Stop it.
You're in outtakes.
Okay.
So this one showed up. I'll show it in outtakes. I won't show it in acquisitions.
That's pretty. I like that.
It's ritual dyes. It's one
Cat hair and all.
Cat hair and all. Yeah, I know. Already with the cat hair. It's one of their knitters backpacks.
That's cute.
It's their mini or their smaller one. I think she's gonna be at an Untitled.
Is she? Really?
I think.
That's cute. Melissa and Becky of Nomadic Knits both had one. They each had one of those when I saw them over the weekend.
So this came as a part of, it was a kit with a whole bunch of stuff. It's Must Stash yarn.
Oh, that's right.
It's the her National Park series.
Yeah.
So this is the Great Smoky Mountains kit.
Nice.
So it came with this really awesome yarn.
That's fun.
Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Have to
kind of unexpected colors together, but I love it.
I might have to slide this one over to Kelly for the sock machine.
I haven't forgotten yours.
Oh no, I'm not in a big rush. I'm not in a rush at all. It came with this cool little patch.
Oh, that's cool.
Which you could put on your bag or not.
That would be fun.
It would.
That's a good bag to do that with.
Yeah. I may also now have a place to put all of these enamel pins that I seem to be collecting.
That's cute.
It came with, what else was in this little goodie bag? I hemmed and hawed over the price for a really long time because it wasn't super cheap, but then I priced out the knitter's handbag backpack and I was like, yeah, I'm buying it. So it came with one of the mustache project bags, which is actually cool because you could throw it in this bag.
That looks like a really nice quality one.
It is.
Yeah.
Super
nice.
heavy.
Yep.
And some tuft woolens. I love their stuff.
Nice.
So we've got some sock soap in the Smoky Mountain colorway scent, and body balm and lip balm and toasted marshmallow.
It's a good time of year to start getting some of that. Oh my gosh, I've been outside like painting my chicken coop and my lips were like so cracked from the wind and it's been
nasty.
Cold and everything. I'm not complaining about the cold though.
No,
because it's been really nice.
So anyway, so this was one of my things that showed up. Actually, I had to go to the post office to pick it up because the post. So this is a funny story. I didn't get to tell last week because we didn't podcast last week.
Right.
Saturday we were gone. We had a big soccer tournament the Saturday before last, and so we left the dog at home in the garage. Because she can't be inside unattended, and anyway. So that's a whole other story. She's fine in the garage. She has water. It's fine. We get home and we have a creamy stand across the street from our house. So we decided to go have lunch because it was like after lunchtime and the kids were really hungry. So we just, instead of going up to our house, we just went across the street to the creamy stand and parked. And we ordered, and we're sitting down there, and we could hear the dog barking. Like it's really loud too, and we were like.
We should go check on her.
Like, God, maybe that is loud. Like, I can't believe our neighbors haven't complained that they've like had to listen to her bark like that whenever we leave her home. Like, that's really annoying and that's really loud. My husband goes, he's like, I'm gonna go get some water to drink, so I'm gonna go up to the house, and I think he was kind of also thinking I'm gonna go check on her. And the barking stopped, and he came back down, and he was like, so that dog had been jumping up on the door and hit the automatic garage door opener and had opened the garage door and apparently was standing outside barking at the door to be let in and had been just standing out there barking.
She didn't go anywhere. She just stood at the door.
Hung out up next to the house barking to be let in for like hours.
My God.
Yeah. So the post office wouldn't deliver my package
because she was loose.
Because she was loose, and I got the little slip in the mailbox that was like, "We tried to deliver your package. We could not. Other dog."
Oh my gosh! Oh, that is crazy.
Yeah. So needless to say, there's been some some creative trying to cover the garage door opener.
I cannot believe she jumped up there and opened that. That is crazy.
It's like right next to the door, so she's jumping up there to like.
And she whacked it.
She just whacked it with her foot and
opened the door.
Opened the door.
There she is.
Yeah.
She's like, hey.
Did not go anywhere.
That's so funny.
Because I checked with the people across the street, and I was like, did she? And they were like, no, but we've heard her barking today, and we usually never hear her at all.
Well, that's good. At least, she doesn't bark.
I told them what happened, and they were laughing. They thought it was hysterical. I was like, yeah, she's been standing outside barking to come in.
She didn't come down for creamy.
Nope. Just standing up there barking. Not barking when she's in the garage, but barking when she's let herself out by opening the garage door.
Somebody should be letting her in the house.
I guess. I guess she figured the garage door came up, somebody's here.
Yeah. Oh, that is funny.
Yeah. Fun with pets.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So then I had to figure out how to get down to the post office because it's not actually really convenient, and I'm never down there.
Yeah.
During business hours.
That's the hard thing. Well, a lot of the rural ones, like ours is open from 7:30 to 11:30, and then 12:30 to 2:30, or 12 to 2 or 12:30 to 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's got really weird hours.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to catch them sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I happened to be going to court in Middlebury, which is part of the reason why we didn't podcast last week, because I was in Woodstock and Middlebury on the same day. And if you live in Vermont, you know why I'm complaining. They are not close to each other.
And there's no easy way to get from the east side of the state to the west side of the state.
So it involved a lot of driving, a lot of time in my car. Was not a very happy camper that day. So on my way down to Middlebury, I stopped, because that is kind of on the way, and picked up the package.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway.
I've been mostly, I finished the sweater, but then I haven't been doing tons of knitting, because any of my free time I've been out painting the chicken coop and trying to get things done before snow flies.
Yeah.
It was so funny. So the main part of the chicken coop is white, and then the trim is dark green. And so the other day I had finished putting the second coat of white on, and my older chickens were out just kind of free ranging. And yesterday I was doing the trim, the dark green trim, and I happened to look over at my rooster, and he had this white stripe on his back, because they can go underneath it, because they love hanging out underneath.
Right.
And so he must have gone under when it was still just a little bit wet, because it wasn't like this. It was just like this light dusting of white. So it was so funny. I was like, oh, I know where he's been. But he did it the day before. It was so funny. He is such a curious guy. He's really funny.
Nice.
He's gotten huge. Oh my gosh, he's a big rooster.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been really friendly and really good. And I think it was actually good that I put him in with the older chickens. And because they've been giving him a run for his money, where the younger girls, younger hens, they were starting to get pushed around by him, because they kind of all grew up together, of course. Right. So when I put him in with the older hens, he was kind of out of his comfort zone, and they haven't been letting him get away with much of anything. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was good, and the good thing is, when the younger ones get a little bit older, they'll be able to free range too. But the older ones, when I get home in the afternoons, I just let them out, and they get to go wherever, and so it gives everybody space.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. So somebody suggested on Instagram that I could finish the sweater for Rhinebeck. I don't think so. Maybe Sunday, to wear on the Sunday. Depends on how much.
With some ends still poking out?
Maybe.
No blocking.
No, it won't. Yeah, it wouldn't have them blocked. But I mean, the the time-consuming stuff is done, the color work, right?
Yeah.
So now it's just
lots and lots of
stock in it.
And that's not done in the round, right?
No, some people did though. They converted it and
steeked
steeked it.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I could have done that, but nah.
You got one to steek already.
Yeah. That one's probably going to get worn as a pullover. Oh, Jen seems to think we're going to be able to steek it on Saturday morning. I'm not convinced that we're going to have downtime to be able to steek, but we'll see.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, some days, so with the it's a big weekend for tourism up here because it's a long weekend
foliage.
For some people, and the foliage is at peak or pretty close to it in most places. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people in town.
Though, and I'm not sure what the weather's going to be doing. I think it's supposed to be kind of rainy and nasty.
Oh, really?
I heard that like parts of Massachusetts and Rhode Island could get
that's
8 inches.
Well,
of
there's
rain.
a nor'easter coming in.
Yeah.
And they're already starting to get kind of the strong winds and everything. I don't think we're supposed to get a lot from it. The further south you are, the worse it's going to be. Okay. But it's pretty much hitting kind of the coastal Massachusetts and.
Okay. I figured we might see some residual storm edge.
Yeah, I think it. What I saw this morning, it looked like it was pretty much staying southern New England.
Okay.
But
yeah, so they were like 8 inches. I was like, I can't. What? What is? That's crazy. That's a lot of rain.
Yeah. They were out on Nantucket. They were getting over 40-mile-per-hour winds this morning, I think. So they're getting.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's funny when you hear a nor'easter this time of year because.
Right.
You hear it. We hear it a lot in the winter because we usually get a lot of snow from nor'easters, and those do tend to be more
big. Yeah.
Northern New England, sometimes southern New England too, but they're huge.
I don't know. The last few years, most of the nor'easters have hit south of us.
Yeah, they have. Massachusetts got more so than we have, I think.
Yep.
But yeah, so of course this time of year it's rain, so it's not.
Yeah. Yepers. All right, well, should we get this show on the road? Before I totally lose my voice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Kelly's gonna get to carry the bulk of the podcast here.
Do my best.
La, 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 la. Because I'm supposed to go teach a seminar tonight, too. So.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome. I think it's a small group, so I'm not going to have to shout, which is good.
That's good. Yeah.
Yep. But, anywho. All right.